Say when. Hi, welcome to Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish. You coming in? No? Okay, let's stay out here in the foyer. You don't mind if I take a seat? Our new hospitality desk. So, I'm glad you're with us today. I'm glad you've joined us, and it's good to sit here because I do have my coffee, and this is Coffee with Father James. And I chose this coffee mug. It has some Aboriginal art on it. You can see all the different colors, and they merge together, and everything is rounded, and there's no straight lines. And I thought I would use this one today because I want to address with you a topic that is, well, rather rounded, without straight lines, and it's kind of blended. And if I get this message right, if I actually nail it, I'm probably going to annoy all of you. I'm probably not going to please anyone if I get this one right. Now, I'm in the foyer for a reason. Many of you may remember about a year and a half ago, we took out the wooden paneling and glass that divided this space in two. And we moved the doors that used to be over here, and we put them right there. They're the original doors to this building. And in doing so, we created two distinct spaces from, it was kind of a bit confusing before how it was divided up. But in doing this, we created a large, fairly functional foyer. You've gotten used to it by now. And we've got the screens attached to the cameras and the sound, so you can come out here, you can watch the masses, you can hear what's going on. There's a place out here where you can speak. And then on the other side of the door it's the sacred space. It's a place where we celebrate the Eucharist. And I want to speak to you today about that separation. And as you know, on this side is a place for prayer. This side is a place for social connection, for conversation. And I just want to say that what we're trying to promote for the most part, is a preference that on this side of the door is that we be respectful with regard to noise levels, because we recognize that once we cross into the sacred space, people are praying. A lot of people are trying to pray before Mass and even after Mass. And so I want to encourage you to be conscious of that, that if you come into the church, and sometimes we're enthusiastically greeting friends or people we know, and before we know it, we can enter into a conversation. Sometimes, and sometimes if maybe our hearing aid isn't working, we think we're whispering, but really we're talking like loud enough to hear the conversation on the other side of the church. I'm just saying that may not be you, it might be you, because it happens. I just say that if you're having an exuberant conversation, then maybe just come out into the foyer. But that, I also want to say that what we don't want is this sense that on this side of the door, you can't say hi to someone. Because really we're trying to reconcile two values. We're trying to reconcile the very real value of our need to build community, to get to know each other, to get beyond, Catholics Anonymous. If you've been around here long enough, you know that that's definitely one of our goals. But at the same time, we want people to be able to experience the Lord, to properly prepare for the Eucharist, to have this space be a place for prayer. So, on this side, it's not that we obviously can't greet each other or say hello to each other. I think that's a really good thing. But I would just ask that on this side, if you do greet one another, that maybe just be conscious of volume levels. And if it does erupt in a conversation, maybe the best thing is to come out here. It does get a little tricky because we don't really have a third space yet. We're looking at that as we rethink our building, and hopefully at some point in the future we'll be able to do a redesign of our building and have more space for these kinds of interactions. And that being said, so I'm encouraging us to be conscious of making this space prayerful. I also want to say that we're striving as a parish to be hospitable. We're striving to be a kind of a parish where, heck, people who don't usually go to church will come here and feel comfortable, feel welcome. And so I'd like you to put yourself also in the shoes of someone who's coming maybe to church for the first time and might not be used to our customs, might not be used to the fact that on this side of the door, it's a place of prayer. And so we want to be careful as well that we don't come across as somehow policing the space. I think that would be not so great. And maybe the best way that we can teach how this space can be prayerful is by being prayerful ourselves, conscious of the fact that there may be people in our midst who might be here for the first time, might not be used to our customs. So there, I set out to probably annoy everyone. I think I've pretty much achieved that, I think, because the truth is that what I'm not going to say is that no talking in there. I'm not going to say that because when we come together for the Eucharist, it's the community that comes together. And I'm also going to say that this is primarily a place for prayer. So if there's loud talking or a conversation, please don't do that in there. Please come out here. And at the same time, it's not up to us to police this area. Let's model our values by how we act. And if we get it right, it's probably still going to be a little bit messy. There will be no straight lines, and there'll be lots of color. And so thanks, everyone, for putting up with this messy message, and we'll see you next time.